Hello all, welcome back to software testing course. So yesterday we had seen till field trial or operational testing, right? So today we will start with the next type, that is performance testing, or it is also called as load testing. Fine. So this performance testing, it focuses on the performance parameters such as your response time, throughput, etc. Say for example, you have a login page. When you enter the correct username and password, so after how many seconds you have to get the, you know or you have to log in, so that particular time it represents the response. Okay, so this type of testing, it is compulsory for your client server applications, web applications. So because these applications are accessed simultaneously by large number of users. First we will take example of the DBMS systems, so wherein the response time, it relates to the time to obtain a report after clicking on a specific buttons. Fine. So when multiple users are using the same database through the LAN, what will happen is it may be difficult to specify the response time for each and every report that has to be generated. But the time that can be tolerated, generally it should be within, that time has to be specified, maybe like few seconds, but not in minutes. Okay, so next is the web applications. So how can you test the performance in the web applications? So say for example we have a weather application, okay, so which is little bit complicated. So many people, they'll access this resource. The power of the the power of the server and the bandwidth, it will decide how many users can simultaneously access a resource on that server. So your performance testing for these type of applications, it comprises of your response time, the maximum number of hits per second, etc. Then we'll take example of real-time embedded systems. So the performance parameters here are like, it depends on the particular job that has to be completed within the specified time. Say for example, measurement of the temperature. Then another has like opening of a valve, something like this. So the timely response here, it becomes critical. So performance testing is compulsory in this process control and telecommunication software systems. For such systems, the specification document, it needs to specify the timing requirements, within how much, whenever you click on a button, within how much seconds or minutes you should be getting the response. Fine. Now we will take another database application or a web application, say suppose, wherein the application, it will be used or accessed simultaneously by 100 users. Then how will you do the performance testing? So will you either what will you do in this situation if I ask you? So you might say that we will employ 100 test engineers, so that those 100 test engineers will simultaneously hit the web application, which is impractical. Okay. The other thing you can say is like you can have 100 machines, even that is impractical. So what we can do is like the performance testing tools, we have some tools like load runner. So those will come into picture, wherein you use a single computer, and those tools, whatever the performance testing tools are there, they simulate multiple users. Say for example in this diagram you can see, right? So you have only two systems, client 1 and client 2, and each system, it has like 50 users. That means simulated, one system has simulated 50 users. So this system simultaneously, it accesses or it hits the server 50 times, so as to this client or this computer. Okay, that means the virtual users would be created here. Fine. So this is about your load testing or performance testing. The next one is stress testing. So this stress testing, it is similar to your performance testing, but it is not the same. So in the stress testing, this is done to test the software at its limits of performance. Say for example, you have a software with a DBMS, that is a database. You have a software of that. So and say suppose it is expected to give a response time within a specified limit for 16 simultaneous users. That means 16 users are simultaneously accessing that particular application. So whenever this type of requirement is given, so you have to make sure that you put little extra stress on that software. Like if it is given 16 simultaneous users, you test slightly more than that, like 17 or 18 or 20 users simultaneously. So basically what we do whenever such requirements is given, we do not test it, right? Like we test it for 4 5 users and we deliver the software to the client. But when the client they start testing, say suppose it is said 16 users, right? If they start testing like 15 16 users, so at that time in the actual environment there may be a possibility that the response goes down drastically, and there might be a chance that your client they might reject the system or they might raise a critical bug. Why? Because they had said 16 simultaneous users but your software is not tolerating 15 users as well. Why? Why? Because we have done the testing for only 4 5 users. So it's very important whenever this type of requirement is given. So you make sure that you test slightly more than what is specified. Okay. So the another type of stress testing is done on the resource requirement. Say if a RAM requirement is specified as 64 MB for a specific application, and the software needs to be tested, not only on 128 MB, it has to be tested on the machines such as 64 MB as well as 32 MB. Fine. So then another example is like if the in the communication media. So if it says that the communication link should have a minimum data rate of say 56 kbps, then the system has to be tested for say, 56 kbps and slightly more and below that, not less than that. Okay. So the test setup for the stress testing, again it has to be defined in your acceptance test plan. So for stress testing as well, we have some tools. Okay, you need not do this manually, so that whenever you use the tools you can create virtual users and your time would be saved that. The next type of testing is accessibility testing. Accessibility testing, it is done to check whether an application or your website it can be accessed by the persons with disabilities. So till few years ago, the developers did not bother about making the applications, particularly your internet resources, so that are available for the persons with disabilities. But now the government, they are bringing out different acts, making it mandatory to make the website accessible by the persons with the disabilities, such as we have US government's Disability Discrimination Act. That means the persons with a disability such as vision impairment or physical impairment because of which they cannot use the mouse or keyboard, hearing impairment as well as cognitive impairment. That means not literate, the first language is not the English. So for these all things, keeping into mind these all things, you have to build a software that is accessible by your persons with the disabilities. So that particular testing we call it as accessibility testing. So this testing is yet to gain the popularity. It is not that much popular as of now. Okay. So you can see the screenshot over here. This accessibility, these are the accessibility properties which you can see in the Windows. So maybe this screenshot is for Windows 7. I'm not sure, but if you want to see the accessibility properties, what you can do is like in Windows 10 you can go to the control panel, and there you have an option called ease of access option, I guess. So there you have keyboard option, sound option, all those things are there. You can have a look into it. Fine. Okay. The next one is the conformance testing. So in the non-functional requirements, your standards, okay, these standards are given as one of the requirement. Apart from your performance, stress, then response time, throughput, even the standards is also a non-functional requirement. So for different application domains, different standards are available. That means if you are building a telecommunication application or healthcare related application, for those domains there are different set of guidelines or rules that you have to follow. So if you are building a healthcare application like the software which has to be used by a hospital, so the guidelines for building the application of the healthcare is different from building your automotive application. So that's why I are saying for different application domains you have different standards available. So this conformance testing is carried out to ensure that the software, whatever you have built, it meets all the standards or the rules and regulations that are given by the domains. Okay, so the standards are specified by your national or international bodies, like the standards such as, say for example, compatibility with the government regulation. So this is basically HIPAA guidelines. Okay, if you are building a healthcare application, the software which has to be used by the hospital, so you have something called as HIPAA guidelines. So this HIPAA guidelines, the rules of that HIPAA guidelines is like, whatever the patient information is there, you cannot share that patient information with the others without the patient approval. So you cannot just sell or give the patient data to anyone. So that is in the healthcare, that is one of the examples. Okay, next we have safety to the users. This is another guideline, like, say for example, to ensure that the mobile phone, it does not emit high radiation due to, and it does not cause any damage to the human body. This is one of the, again, regulation. Again we have privacy to the users, security to the users. Again, special features such as the accessibility for the disabled. So all these things are specified by national and the international bodies. So we have different organizations, say, such as American National Standards Institute, International Organization for Standardization, World Wide Web Consortium. Then we have Internet Engineering Task Force and International Telecommunication Union. So these are, different domains, or these are the organizations or the bodies that formulate the guidelines for different aspects of the conformance in different application domains. Say for example, you are developing a automotive software. That means a software for the software that has to be used in the car. Okay, so for that you have Motor Industry Software Reliability Association. So that organization gives you a certain set of guidelines which you have to follow while coding. So that means C coding you do in the embedded systems, right? So you have to follow that particular association or bodies guidelines to develop the C code for the embedded systems. Okay. So apart from that, a number of standards are available for the nuclear plants, chemical plants, railway signaling, pharmaceutical industries, then defense electronics, etc. So this conformance testing, it involves testing of the software for the compliance. That is, to check whether your software, it is meeting the rules and regulations which has been specified by the national or the international bodies according to your domain. Fine. So the next type of testing is internationalization testing. So when a software is developed for your international market, so it is necessary to provide the option to set different regional preferences, like based on their currency, numbers, or the time and date format which they are using. So this has to be given in your software. Okay. Say for example, in the Indian numbering systems, so the numbers will be denoted by, like suppose for 1 lakh, how do we write 1 comma double zero comma triple zero, right? But the equivalent American numbers in numbering system is like they write 1 lakh in 100,000, that is 100 comma triple zeros. So similarly, the date format differs. In some countries, it is date slash month slash year, whereas in other countries they write month first, right? Month slash date slash year. So if your computer accepts, say suppose only one format, then it is very inconvenient. Also, the keyboard should cater to different representation of the keys, such as ASCII, extended ASCII, and Indian Standard Code for Information Exchange, so which is used to represent Indian language characters in the computer using your 7-bit and 8-bit format. Fine. So you can get these options in the control panel, regional options. So here is a diagram for that. Okay. So in the internationalization testing, what you have to do is like whatever the software you are building, right? So it should not be like it will be used by only one country. So you have to keep in mind different countries, and you have to make sure that you provide that particular or whatever the uh, countries you are keeping in mind, you have to make sure their numbering system, currency, date and time format, these all things have to be kept in mind, and you have to accordingly develop it and accordingly test it. Okay, that's it for today. We'll conclude our session. Thank you.